Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a Kourtney Kardashian inspired look, and it's based on this look. I'll insert a little clip right here. It's basically a very neutral in the sense that there's not much eye makeup going on, but there's a bright orange lip, and it's using the new Gerard Cosmetics Hydro Matte Liquid Lipstick in Mercury Rising, and this is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll leave a discount code down below with the one that I used anyway. Yeah, so it's based around the lips, I'd say this look is, but obviously this is just an inspired tutorial. I'm not trying to say that it is what she's wearing or how she looks, but it's just how I interpret the look and how I've recreated it myself. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, then carry on watching. So my face is looking extra spotty today. Oof, it's like the worst bit of filming these videos when I have to come in here like all oh, by the way, that's cream. Fresh faced. Oh. Anyway, I'm just applying Pepta Bright, and this is just to treat my skin a little bit while, you know, the day is going on. Anyway, now that that's done, I can get on with putting the actual makeup on. So in the picture, Kourtney's skin is very luminous and glowing, and my skin is currently looking pretty dull and not glowing. So I'm going to start with the L'Oreal Lumi Magique base. I'm just going to take that on just a slanted flat top brush and pop that all over my skin. Okay, so now my skin is primed, and by the way, this is a really nice radiant primer. The only thing that annoys me is that the bottle isn't see-through, so I can't see how much I've got left, and I'm scared that it's going to creep up on me one day and be empty. But it's an absolutely incredible radiant primer, perfect for anyone with dry skin. I have oily skin, but I find I've actually figured out that my cheeks are actually kind of dry, so it's nice. If you wanted to use this in a matte foundation just to sort of balance it out, then fine, but I'm not too bothered anymore about using a variety of foundations. So I'm going to take my Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. Now I've had this foundation for a long time, and well, I mean a few months, but I bought it in dark beige and it's not my skin tone at all, so I've not been able to use it, and when I have, I've been mixing it with a lighter one. So this one is in 53 light beige, and I finally bought it the other day, so now I can use it. I'm going to attempt to use this on a beauty blender. Now I've had these for ages and I've never figured out how to use them properly. Like, I've always been just smacking it on my face. I've never dampened it. I don't know which one to use. This one's from Simply Spoiled Beauty and this one's from Real Techniques. I don't know. I'll go for the Simply Spoiled one first, actually. Now, do you apply it on here or on your face? I'm going to put it on the blender. I'm probably wrong, but apparently this is the best way to get your foundation on. We'll see. But I like this foundation because it's really radiant from when I have used it, and as it says healthy mix, that sounds promising to me because my skin could use a little bit of health. Okay, so I'm not particularly, I wouldn't say it gives the best coverage. It does take away a lot of product, like it absorbs a lot of product, but I have heard people say that, so I'm not really shocked or anything. So I'm going to use another pump. Normally I just use one and it's more than enough for my skin, but we'll see how two goes. Okay, so that's quite nice. It does give a very light coverage, so it's nothing too heavy, too crazy, and it looks very natural. I don't know, it feels a bit strange like punching myself in the face with a sponge, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. So I'm going to set this foundation with the Makeup Forever HD Loose Setting Powder, and I'm just going to take that on a large Spectrum Collections powder brush. I'm using this because it's not a very mattifying, well, it does mattify, but it doesn't flatten the finish, so if you have got a dewy foundation on, I'm sure it will stay dewy, but it just sets that foundation in place. Apologies if I keep going out of focus, but I like to move around. I'm going to work with my brows next. I've zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing because I'll be doing my eyes after this. So I'm just combing my brows out using the Maybelline Master Shape brow pencil. I don't like the pencil on this, so I'm just using the comb for it. I actually really like the comb, but I'm sure that any will do. And I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. And I'm going to take that on a Spectrum Collections angled liner brush or brow brush. I don't know. Kourtney's brows look very natural, but I do have quite thick eyebrows, so I'm not sure how natural I can get them. But having said that, using the Dip Brow pomade isn't probably the best option for a natural brow, but what are you gonna do? So for the front of my brows, I'm not adding any additional product. I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush and just making upward strokes towards the front to hopefully make it not look as harsh. So I'm going to prime my eyes using the same concealer. Kourtney's got a very natural eye look on. It's sort of not too gold, not too silver, just a slight little shimmer. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked palette, which I recently bought. I'm going to take the shade Buck and I'm going to put that in my crease, and I'm going to use this Crown Brush blending brush. This is just quite a neutral brown, so it's not too warm, not too cool. It's just quite a neutral colour that will suit any shimmers. As you can see, it's very natural, there's not much going on there. And I'm just going to place the shade Sin, which is a ever so slightly pink toned shimmer. And I'm going to place that all over the lid using this Spectrum Collections, I don't really know what kind of brush it is, but it's this one. So it's just giving a really slight wash of colour. Normally when I want a more intense eye look, I'll use my finger, but as I'm going somewhat natural today, a brush will do. But if I'm brutally honest, this doesn't have the pigmentation that I'd like. I think that's just because I'm used to Makeup Geek shadows now and they're like, what? Just going to take that crease shade again and just blend all that together. I am going to add something else to the lid just because I personally like a little bit more shimmer. Just for that added bit of shimmer, I'm going to go for the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow in Space Cowboy. Now I got this the other day in Debenhams and it literally, you just rub your hand on it and this isn't even picking up as well as I'd like, but it's beautiful. And these are normally used with a wet brush, but because I'm not intensifying it, I'm literally just going to pat on a little bit of glitter from that. Just blending that out, any sparkles that have got into the crease. Okay, now I don't think she wears any liner on her top lid, so we're just going to go straight in with mascara. And I've got the Benefit Roller Lash, which is a really lengthening mascara. Should have curled my eyelashes before. Whoops. So I'm going to go back to the face before I finish off the eyes, so before I finish lower lashes and all that business, because my face looks really dull. I'm going to use the Bourjois Healthy Mix Concealer. Boots had a 3 for 2 offer on, so that explains that. And I've got this in Dark Radiance if you're wondering. So I'm just going to pat that on under the eyes. I'm not too big on this applicator, only because it's like a lip gloss tube. I can't figure out how much I need, so I end up either with too much or too little. So to set that, I'm going to use the setting shade or the highlight shade from the new Illamasqua Dusk Till Dawn palette, and this is the Sculpting palette. I actually spotted this in Selfridges as I was walking out the door, and yeah, I got sucked in and bought it. But it's amazing. I mean, look at the shades. That's a contour shade. I went up to it, I went up to the lady, and I was like, is this a contour palette? Because obviously I could see these greyish browns and whatnot, and she was like, yeah. And I said, so what's the grey for? Is that for contour? She said, yeah, to make it a little bit more ashy. I was like, oh, genius, because I'm always looking for the perfect ashy contour shades, and yeah, bravo Illamasqua. I'm going to take this cheek brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to take the Banana-y setting powder and just put that underneath my eyes. See how much brighter under my eyes look? Amazing. I'm also going to use that shade to highlight my brow bone as well, because she's got a really illuminated brow bone, but I do want to add a little bit of shimmer to that as well. Just going to use this Elizabeth Arden eyeshadow brush. It's nothing special, but it's something that I always use for my brow bone for some reason. The only thing I don't like about this palette is the highlighter, but I've been thinking of doing a blog post on it actually. I don't do many blog posts anymore, only because I like to put a lot more energy into my YouTube, but I do want to sort of mix it up and do both. But it's hard to maintain both of them because it gets a bit confusing. But I do want to do a post on it. I've taken the pictures for it, so I just need to actually write it up. But this highlight shade isn't anything special in my opinion. It doesn't ruin the palette by no means. I mean, you can use it as an eyeshadow, can use it as a highlight, but doesn't do the trick for me. I'm going to contour now, but her cheeks are looking very warm in the picture. So normally I hate any warm shades for contour, but I'm actually going to use this, oh, sorry, the battery's on. I'm actually going to use this warm contour shade, which is actually a bronzer, and I'm going to take it on the contour brush from Real Techniques and just slightly, ever so slightly, place that on my cheekbones. Not my cheekbones, the hollows of my cheeks. I'm gonna ash it up a little bit with this grey contour shade just to make it a little bit more shadowy. I'm just gonna blend it at the same time. Okay, so the blush I'm gonna use is Luminoso by Milani, and this was obviously a Kathleen Lights inspired purchase because she's talked about it a few times, and it's a gorgeous illuminating peachy orangey shade, and I'm going to take this on just a blush brush and slowly apply that to the apples of my cheeks. This is a lot more than I'd normally go for, but her cheeks are looking pretty orange in the picture, not in a bad way obviously, but they're looking pretty orange, so I decided to do that. You could just leave this on its own without highlighter, but I'm going to highlight with the Mary Luminizer because I love it. By the way, I also have a highlighter stash video that went up on Sunday, so I'll link that below for you to watch. But I have ordered 2 new highlights. Oops. And I'm going to go back to the eyes now. Now, she doesn't seem to have anything on the waterline, but I'm going to add a little bit of a white liner on there. I'm going to use the Maybelline Big Eyes liner, and I'm going to use the white side. I'm going to go back into Book from the Naked palette. I'm just going to use a shader brush for that and slightly place that to the lower lash line, just because under her lower lash line's looking ever so slightly brown. And then I'm going to go in with the Mary Luminizer. I'm going to highlight my inner corners because she's got very highlighted inner corners in the picture. To be honest, you could just use the Mary Luminizer as the shadow and use it as a multi-use product. So I'm just going to put mascara on my lower lash line using the Clinique High Impact Mascara. Star of the show, which is the lipstick, and her lips are a very reddy orange shade. I found what I think is the perfect shade for it, and it's the new Gerard Cosmetics Hydro Matte Liquid Lipstick in Mercury Rising. Now, I bought all 3 of them, and the only one I'm not too big on is Aphrodite, but that's only because it doesn't suit me. It's not because it's rubbish, it's just because it doesn't suit my skin tone. But Serenity is beautiful. You need it. Okay, so that is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see any more Kardashian / Janet inspired looks, or any other celebrity inspired looks, because I'd like to do that. I quite like taking inspiration from other looks for my own. But I'm really loving the neutral eye and the red lip. It's not something I normally go on the orange lip. It's not something I normally go for, but I quite like it. It's cool. I do wish I had some eyelashes though. I don't have any fake eyelashes, so I need to get some of those. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and leave any video suggestions down below. Oh, by the way, next week's video on Friday, I think, is going to be, not this Friday, next Friday's is going to be what I got off my birthday. So, and I've asked for a ton of makeup. So, yeah, that'll be exciting. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd love it if you could. It'd make me so happy. Like, I love when I see new subscribers. I'm like, but yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!